Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, John, and thank you for your kind comments about the fact that I represent the always supportive East Midlands Development Agency, and that's always nice to hear. It still won't change my mind about that conference in California, though, I'm afraid. My name's Jonathon Lowe, and I head up the business investment team at East Midlands Development Agency. I oversee a wide range of projects and programmes that fundamentally help businesses in the East Midlands to access finance for their starting up in life as a business and also for their growth. You'll hear some more about those various activities later on. But first, I thought I would try and give you a very brief whistle-stop tour through emda's role in the wider sustainable development, innovation and technology arena. And talking of technology, I shall try and switch this over so that I don't get daytime television and I do actually get a slide. Oh, marvellous. emda's main role as the regional development agency for the East Midlands is to drive economic growth in the region, and that means through the encouragement of business development, job creation, wealth creation amongst the population of the region. But we've always been very clear, right from the very start of emda's life in 1999, that all of that cannot happen at the expense of the environment, and that clearly is a very relevant topic for today. So that's our role. It's about economic growth, but not at any cost, and we do that in a wide range of ways, and also in partnership with a wide range of partners from the public and the private sector, and again, some of them are here today. So what are we doing? In terms of transport, we're researching freight movement in the East Midlands, a very thorny topic I'm sure you'll appreciate. We're funding investment in public transport infrastructures such as transport interchanges like in Corby at the railway station there. We're working on improvements in public transport, for example helping public transport routes to East Midlands Airport through the Skylink bus service that many of you will be aware of. We're also working with local partners in urban and rural areas to improve transport across the region there. Energy and environment, something again that I'm sure we'll hear more of later on, are also important areas for emda. We fund Business Link to offer resource efficiency advice to small and medium-sized enterprises to help them manage their resources in terms of water, energy, etc., and to do it in a more energy efficient way and to feed through improvements in productivity and profitability. We also support the Energy Technologies Institute, or ETI, which again we'll be hearing more about later on because it's based here at Loughborough University and is a very significant development. And in terms of regeneration can come in many shapes and sizes, but in terms of physical regeneration, the regeneration of land and buildings, we've funded an organisation called Regeneration East Midlands, which is about improving best practice in amongst regeneration practitioners. And sustainability is a very important part of the good practice that Regeneration East Midlands promotes. We also support Blueprint, which is a public and private partnership designed to raise £100 million worth of investment to invest in key regeneration projects around the East Midlands, but again to do it in a way which is sustainability focused and promotes sustainable construction practices. And we also sponsor a number of urban regeneration companies around the region, again with a similar remit. I'd like now to turn to innovation. For me, innovation is the successful business exploitation of new ideas. Not just science and technology, although it would be nice in the East Midlands to invent a wonder drug to turn short, fat, bald blokes into Brad Pitt, but that's not just about science and technology, it's about the promotion of innovation, change, development, and new products and new processes. In a global economy, innovation is the only way for businesses to survive. I think we all know that. The challenge, however, is that the East Midlands is overdrawn on its innovation. We don't do enough of it, and much of the innovation that happens in the region is undertaken by very large companies, and we're doing an awful lot to try and promote innovation amongst small companies too. So again, what are we doing? We're funding East Midlands Innovation, which is the region's Science and Industry Council, and it's produced the Regional Innovation Strategy. And that sets out how we as a region is going to challenge and take on the challenge of the innovation deficit within the region, and build on the skills and creativity that we've got to turn ourselves into an innovative world-class economy. We're setting up innovation networks, or INETs, focused on key priority sectors for the East Midlands: healthcare, food and drink, transport equipment, and also sustainable construction. We're also targeting investment in other priority technology areas through a regional technology framework. And those technology areas are many and varied, but include materials, design, engineering and manufacturing, energy and waste, and others too. Earlier I referred to my own responsibilities for access to finance matters in the East Midlands. In recent years, successive business surveys have concluded that generally businesses in the UK are pretty well served by the financial markets. However, there are gaps, and government and regional development agencies and other public bodies have set about trying to plug some of those gaps. And we've done that by creating a programme of venture capital funds, by providing targeted grant support, by funding specialist investment readiness support, such as delivered by Connect Midlands in the region here, to help entrepreneurs improve their pitch to investors. And we're also supporting businesses that are unable to access mainstream finance, micro businesses generally, and we do that through our new Community Development Finance Institution loan fund. And this really is the structure of that support. It's quite a busy picture, but this is our escalator of funding in the East Midlands, and it brings together those various equity funds, grant programmes and other support activities that emda has funded over the last 6 or 7 years. And as I said earlier on, a number of the representatives of our Early Growth Fund and Connect and my own team are here today if anybody would like to seek them out for further information about any of those activities. But I would like to emphasise that this package of finance, this package of funding, and alongside a substantial commitment to the Regional Business Link Network to help businesses navigate their way through the business growth cycle, represents a pretty major contribution from emda to business development in the region. And much of that is focused on high growth and technology innovation and sustainable development. And here's the return on that investment. Over the last 6 or 7 years, £127 million of new finance has been made available, and that's leveraged from the private sector a further £411 million for regional businesses. The number of businesses helped is around about 2,500, and they in turn have used our support to safeguard or create 7,700 jobs. So, as I say, a pretty major contribution to the regional economy. Just in summing up, I really do hope that you find today's event useful. As John said, a number of people have worked long and hard over this over the last few months, and it's the first event of its type, and hopefully it won't be the last. And the reason that I hope that is that you find it so valuable that you recommend that we do it all again. We're keen to continue to recognise the increasing importance of sustainable technologies to the growth of the regional economy. That's part of what today is all about. Sustainability has become a bit of a cliche in my view, but like all cliches, it's a very relevant one. And you know, we need to be building on the focus that it's currently got. So you know, in this current climate, this current climate change climate, I commend today's proceedings to you. Hope you enjoy it and look forward to speaking to you later on. I'd like now to hand over to Rachel Nutter of the Carbon Trust, who will take you through her session as well. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.